Hello, welcome back to GP Nail Art. Jessica here. So I have my peacock mani on in this video still. So that one was staying on for quite a while. I will put that up in the cards in the corner there for you. But I received a package from Nail Addict LA. I wasn't expecting this. I got it in the mail one day, so that was quite fun and exciting. And from the tops here, you can see that these are all pinks and reds, so it's very apparent to me that these are meant for Valentine's Day colors. So I was excited about that as well. I'm going to swatch these off camera and go through each one of the colors to show you exactly what they look like and what their names are. And don't forget as well that I do have a discount code for Nail Addict LA. The details of that will be in the description box, but I will pop that up on the screen for you as well. So here are all of the beautiful colors that they sent me. So we have Hard to Get, so that's a nice bright red. We have Electric Red, so it kind of has a little bit of a pink undertone to it. Electric Pink, Bliss Pink, Electric Rose, Marry Me, and Diamonds for Breakfast. I keep trying to turn this one in the camera because on the swatch it looks more silver than it is. It has a really pretty pink iridescent shift to it. And I think you'll see that more when I'm using it because I am going to create a mani with these. If you saw from the thumbnail there, this is going to be a full-out Valentine's Day mani. I am pulling inspiration from Nail Addict She. Her ring finger there has a really pretty color block with that green stripe across the width of the nail. So that's going to be my inspiration for this particular nail. So I'm going to kind of, paint the color block areas with that light pink. That one is the Marry Me. And I'll do that at the free edge part of the nail, and then I'll kind of flip it over and do the same thing at the cuticle area. So I'm just kind of leaving that center where that kind of stripe is going to be for another color. And I also just wanted to say, because I am kind of doing nail art on pretty much every single nail, this one is going to be a little bit of a longer video, but bear with me because there's a lot kind of going on, and I'll kind of go back and forth between different nails. So on my brush there, I do have a little bit of alcohol on that pad, that cotton round that I'm kind of wiping it off on, to help kind of remove some of the gel polish where I don't want it, but I'm just kind of trying to make sure that I have a nice straight line in the top and bottom of that kind of stripe that's in the center. Once I'm happy with that, I'm going to go ahead and cure for 60 seconds. I do a full cure every time, and I'm just showing you there that I did a second coat off camera, so that does have 2 coats on it. And here is that Diamonds for Breakfast color, and you'll see on the brush itself that pretty pink like iridescent it has to it. You can kind of see that all on the brush. It looks more pink than it did on the swatch. So you'll kind of see that a little bit better as I'm doing the nails. So I'm just going to kind of fill in that center spot there with the stripes. So I really like how this turned out. I did do 2 coats on that as well. Just so it kind of has that nice iridescence, but it almost kind of has a negative space kind of feel to this nail as well, which is kind of cool, even though I did fill it in with a color, because it's kind of translucent and sheer you can still kind of see through it, so it gives it that kind of negative space kind of feel. I like it. I love how it came out. I love the whole mani. I was just obsessed with this one, and I'm glad that it's kind of press-ons as well, because the little press-on stickers that I use for, you know, to put them on my hand, they don't ruin the nails at all, so I can always kind of pop these on again in the future. So this one is the thumb nail, so I'm going to do a whole nail of that Diamonds for Breakfast. And again, I'm showing just the first coat, but I did 2. And you can kind of see that pink iridescent shift again. So I'm going to go ahead and move on to one of the lighter pink colors. I think in this particular mani, I used 5 out of the 6 colors that they sent me. The 7th bottle was their no wipe gel top coat. I didn't end up using that one in this particular mani, but I did use their base coat so that nothing, you know, peels off of those press-ons, and then I will use their regular, their no wipe top coat at the end. So I did 2 coats of that lighter pink. I'm going to do 2 coats of this darker pink. And this one, it's such a pretty, like, hot pink, neon pink kind of color. This one would be perfect in the summer as well. I'm not usually big into the pink colors, but that really, like, neon pink color, I do love those neon pinks. So I'm just going to go through and you know, finish up some of these nails, but we're going to get into a lot more nail art, so stay tuned. Alright, so this one is the pinky, and can you believe that I have not done a marble nail on this channel yet? So I decided to do one today. You know, the pinky is kind of a smaller nail, so you don't have a whole lot of space to work with, but I thought it would be fun to kind of do a marble effect, and it's really easy to do with the gel polish as well. So I did that base coat of that very light pink, just so that the nail has, you know, full coverage and there's not going to be any blank spots at all. And then I dotted the other colors kind of all over the place, and I'm just kind of swirling that around with my dotting tool, so it's like super, super easy. And you can also add in other colors if you feel like it needs you know, more of a certain color. So that's what I'm kind of doing with the very light pink. I felt like it was getting a little bit too had too many of the dark colors, so I'm just kind of swirling in a little bit of the super light pink, and you just kind of swirl that around until you're happy. You don't want to swirl it so much that you're kind of you know, it just becomes like one color, like, you know, like you've mixed everything up into just one color, but you know, you get those really pretty swirls in it. And I just wanted to add a little bit more of that glitter as well. Everything's better with glitter, right? And once I'm happy with it, I'm going to go ahead and cure it, and then we are done with that nail. Super, super easy. Also, if you want to see how to do that marble effect with dip powder, because that is possible to do with dip powder as well, let me know in the comments, and I can certainly do that in the future as well. Alright, so as soon as I saw that very light kind of nude pink color, it kind of gave me sweater nail vibes. So that's what I'm going to be doing on this nail, but I'm going to kind of switch up the colors a little bit. I'm not going to do the sweater pattern with that very light nude pink. I want it to stand out a little bit more, so I'm taking that pink that's just about like a shade darker to kind of do those lines. So I'm just kind of blocking off that color block area with lines kind of going across the width of the nail, and then I will also do that sweater nail design the same way I did it on the mint colored nails, using the technique that I saw from JP. So check out that video with the mint if you want to see more details about that. I'll put that in the cards for you as well. Alright, so again, I'm just kind of doing those little kind of, they're very small kind of, lines down the center of the nail parallel to each other until I get to that color block, and then I'll do the same thing on that, towards the free edge part of the nail, and then you just kind of connect them with that kind of S or stair shape to get that really pretty sweater design. And doing the little dash marks on the nail first really helps you kind of keep them kind of centered and the same size, and it makes it super easy to make that perfect kind of sweater cable knit kind of look, I guess. But yeah, I'm so happy that I saw how she did that, because it's so easy to create that look. Okay, I'm just using my brush a little bit there to, one of the lines kind of was running into the one below it, so I was just cleaning that up a little bit. And that's a nice thing about gel as well. If there's anything that you're not happy with, you can always remove it, wipe it off with alcohol, or, just with, a wipe or something like that to kind of, get rid of the part that you're not happy with before you go and cure it all. So, it's not going to dry on you. So, doesn't, it's not permanent kind of in place there until you cure it in the lamp. So that makes kind of creating some of these designs a little bit easier as well, because if you're not happy with something, you can just remove it, try again. So I'm just going to finish up those lines. And in this part, I I meant to do kind of, some lines on the sides, like the sidewall area of the nail as well. But I kind of forgot to do it right here, so I will do that later on. And then before I cure, just to give it a little bit more texture, which you kind of want with the sweater nails, I'm going to go ahead and, kind of pour over some clear acrylic powder as well. So that just gives that sweater nail the kind of, texture that you want. And if you don't want, the texture with it, you can always cure it without it, but I just think that the sweater nails, it looks a lot better when it has a little bit more texture to it. Alright, so right now the nails are looking a little bit matte, and I think the clear powder that I poured over kind of made the iridescent stripe in the middle look a little bit matte as well. So I just kind of wanted to see what that was going to look like with the regular top coat so that it looked nice and shiny. And I really kind of liked it, so I left it that way instead of, usually with the sweater nails, you'll make the whole nail kind of, matte because, I don't know about you, but there's not many people that I know of that, wear a shiny sweater. I mean, I don't know. Let me know. But, I kind of liked the way it looked, so I left it that way. So on the thumbnail here, I'm just adding some more nail art. So I'm just kind of doing 2 little dots next to each other. And then you can use either the dotting tool or like a liner brush to kind of connect those 2 dots into, kind of like a V shape to create your heart. So you'll see that. I didn't realize that I kind of ended up making like the 2 light colored hearts, the light pink on one side of the nail and the dark pink were on the other side of the nail. I kind of meant to alternate it a little bit more, but that's just kind of how it ended up, I guess. So I'm just kind of dragging that color down into a V, and then you have your heart. So those are pretty easy to create as well. And I think, though, if I put the dots initially a little bit closer together, I wouldn't have had to fill in the center quite as much. So that's, something to think about if you were going to try to create, hearts with the dotting tool. So, I kind of had to fill in the center a little bit more. If I had put those dots closer together, I probably wouldn't have had to. But I think it's super cute, and I think it's really pretty on top of that iridescent glitter color. Alright, so when I started these nails, I kind of started these on a weeknight. I believe it was a Friday night, and it was just kind of getting a little bit late. My dog needed to be walked and everything, and I was getting a little bit tired. So I ended up kind of pausing on, this mani and, finishing it over the weekend. So you'll see I kind of have long sleeves on as well because it did get kind of cold down here in Florida. I'm not complaining too bad. I'm going to be back up in Connecticut next year, so I'm really going to be in the cold then, but I'm trying to enjoy the warmer weather while I can, and Florida is just not cooperating. So I decided to put a little heart in the center of this nail as well. I kind of wanted to make sure all of the nails were kind of, tied in with the different colors as well. So they, even though they're all kind of a little bit different, that they all have, the similar colors and hearts and designs and things like that. So I added a little heart in the center of that kind of negative space area of our sweater nail. And I did add in, as you saw, a little bit of that glitter. I just kind of wanted it to have a little bit of, I guess, kind of, dimension to it, although it's not super, glittery. Alright, so this one is the middle finger, I believe. So I wanted to do kind of some bigger hearts. After I created this mani, I did see, and I can't remember, I apologize, I can't remember which YouTuber, I believe it was, where she created a bigger heart on the nail, and she kind of did a little V shape, kind of in the center towards the cuticle area of the nail, and then she did a small little V shape directly below it towards the free edge of the nail. So that's kind of, the top part, that center part of the heart that, dips into that V, and then the bottom part where it dips, and you just kind of are, able to connect those lines at that point, but it kind of keeps your shape, centered and everything. So this one didn't come out too bad. I did have to fix it up a little bit, and I'm going to speed up just kind of the filling in of the heart here, because I do make it all one color. But, again, the gel gives you that kind of opportunity to, kind of fix it, because it's not going to, like I said, it's not going to dry, it's not going to harden or anything like that. You have to cure it. Once it's cured, you're not really going to be able to fix it up, but while it's still, wet like this, you can fix it up or remove it and start over if you want to. So I'm just kind of, fixing up the lines a little bit so I have a nice symmetrical shape. Once I'm happy, I'll go ahead and cure it, which is what I did. So I have a clean brush, and you see that I'll wipe that off on the cotton round that has a little bit of alcohol, and I was just kind of cleaning up the center kind of V part of the heart. And here I am using that very light color, and I'm going to kind of create like an arrow in the center of the heart. There's also going to be more close-up pictures at the very end of the video, so I'll kind of do a closer up shot of each nail individually, so you can kind of see more of the details. But I'm just kind of doing the arrow shape, and kind of through the center of the heart, like you see some stickers and cartoons or things like that look like that. So it's kind of looking like it's piercing through the heart, like Cupid's arrow, I guess. And also, you probably, I probably would have liked to, I'm sorry if you hear some noise in the background. My dog is drinking water, and she is quite loud at it. But you could probably, even if you wanted to make that arrow kind of stand out more, use a darker color, but I kind of wanted to only use the colors that were sent to me. I probably, if I had other colors, I probably maybe would have used like a black or a very dark brown or something like that for the arrow itself, instead of the very, very light pink, just so it shows up a little bit more. But like I said, I only wanted to use the products that they sent me. So, I kind of stuck with the colors that were in this particular box. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and cure, I did cure the arrow once I was happy with it. I'm going to use this darker red, that's the hard to get color, and put a little bit of that on my resin plate. So I'm going to add a little bit more detail to the arrow on the nail. So you know how kind of when you see like a heart with an arrow with it, it kind of has that pierced look. So I'm just kind of adding almost what would be like the shape of a parenthesis or a C to either side of that arrow, so it kind of gives it more of that like pierced look. Like the heart has a little bit more dimension, and it makes it look kind of not so flat. So there's a closer up. And then just to tie in that red on some more of the mani, so they kind of are tied into each other. I'm just kind of doing just a few red dots on this nail. I'm not going to go crazy, just a couple to kind of fill it in a little bit and tie in that red. Alright, so on this nail, I forgot to hit record. You can see it all of a sudden switches over, and I've got two hearts. So I started with the red and created a bigger heart the same way I did on the ring finger. And then I just kind of did another heart in the very light color on top of it, but smaller, so it kind of looks layered. And then I'm just doing, an even smaller heart with a different color, pink, in the center again. So it just kind of looks like a layered, like the layered heart shapes on this nail. So sorry that I forgot to hit record on the first two, but at least you got to see a little bit of it. And also I did cure in between each one of the hearts so that the colors didn't mix with each other at all. So I did the red heart, cured it, did the light pink heart, cured it, did this one, and then I'll cure it again. Alright, so we are almost done. I am going to go ahead and top coat these, so I have my no wipe top coat. So I'm going to go over every nail with the exception of the sweater nail. I'll do something a little bit different on that one. I'm going to cure everything for a full 60 seconds. And then I'm going to go ahead and, like I said, use these as press-ons as well. So we'll get to that in a moment. On this sweater nail, I did the center with the no wipe top coat, but then the actual sweater design part, I wanted that to stay matte. So I do have the Nail Addict matte top coat as well. So I just went over the sweater design with the matte top coat, just to kind of seal everything in, make sure that nothing ends up peeling off at all. All right, so here is the finished mani. I really love how this one came out. I love that, you know, the colors all kind of tie into each other on each nail, but every single nail is different. And I'm going to go ahead and, like I said, use these as press-ons. So here they are on. And I love the length of these nails as well. Unfortunately, I can only wear them maybe for an hour or two when I create the press-ons, because I just, you know, with the dog, I have to pick her up all the time. You know, she's kind of old, so she has a little bit of trouble walking and, you know, and stuff like that. And just in general, like I would never, there's no way I'd be able to type for my regular job. I mostly do typing all day long, so I don't know, with these nails I'd have a really hard time with it. So, you know, I only end up wearing them for a couple of hours or so, but they're so pretty. I love them. I was obsessed with these. I kept them on for more than a few hours because I did not want to pop them off. I was really happy with how these came out. And like I said, there's going to be close-up pictures of every nail individually at the end, so take a look at those, and until next time, bye for now.